Hey everyone, I appreciate you joining. Christian Wood recently signed with the Lakers after a long wait this offseason, as well as many rumors over the years. Many people are extremely hyped on him joining the team. Based on actual history, what has played out in the real world, versus speculation on hope and potential. Is this a real improvement that makes sense for what the Lakers need most? Jason Timpf had these concerns about defense.
Not very good in pick and roll last year. 0.95 points per possession against pick and roll ball handlers. That's 36th percentile. 1.24 points per possession against roll men. That's 21st percentile. Just not active with his hands. Again, it doesn't matter how long your arms are if you're not doing anything with them. And then his lack of strength, like in pick and roll, you'd see guards like get downhill on him and then basically just take hard dribbles at him into the paint, like plow their shoulder into his chest and then turn around and take little short fadeaways in the lane and they'd be able to make it. He also struggled in post-up situations with a lack of strength. The pick and roll situations, definitely not a very good season for him.
I agree with The Athletic, who spoke on best fit for the Lakers.
Now, as far as the fit, I admittedly, I'm not the biggest Wood guy. Just hearing some of the things behind the scenes and then the defense in comparison with Biyombo, there is a gap there. I also think, as I wrote a story a few weeks ago about how the Lakers' too big lineup fantasy just doesn't make sense to me. AD is a 5 and LeBron is a 4. I just think the notion of sliding those guys down in the lineup, kind of putting more pressure on those guys to defend on the perimeter, I think is a losing formula. The argument for Christian Wood is he has more upside, he's more skilled, he's more talented, all those descriptors, and I think he could withstand the AD. Like when AD is injured, he can step in, play 25, 30 minutes and help you kind of in that very similar to Thomas Bryant. Mm-hmm. But remember, I mean, when AD was healthy, Thomas Bryant wasn't happy with his role. And there were some nights he was playing 8, 10, 12 minutes. And that partnership never really worked together. Worked together on either end. So I guess for me, I would go Biyombo. I think he gives them a little bit more of what they need. He's a more reliable option. I think they just need a guy who can finish inside, block shots, rebound, hold down the fort for 10 to 15 minutes when AD's off the floor. That to me is Biyombo, not Christian Wood. But talking to people in his previous stops, talking to people who covered him in his previous stops, I think there's a reason why he's on a minimum contract.
Yeah.
Despite putting up big numbers in various places. And I think we just had a situation with Russell Westbrook, or the Lakers had a situation with Russell Westbrook where they were trying to fit a square into a round hole. Russ was better than some of the point guard options out there, but it just wasn't a great fit, and he never bought into his role. And we've also seen certain guys just struggle to do that. And I don't know if he's in the position where he's desperate enough to fully buy in, but we'll see. I think, to me, Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood are kind of I don't want to say two sides of the same coin. To me, they're more like upside guys where, again, I think Wood would have a relatively limited role. So he would have to find a way to thrive in that, 18 to 24 minutes a night, most likely coming off the bench, but who knows, maybe they acquiesce to him and start him and do the too big thing. But I think having two guys who are potentially unreliable as your backup options, the Lakers have kind of had that as you. For me, I would have maybe preferred in hindsight's 2020, but a Christian Wood, Bismack Biyombo center pairing off the bench, and maybe no Jackson Hayes, and that you kind of have the upside guy and the reliable guy, and then it's you can go different looks. Wood could play next to AD in certain lineups. Biyombo gives you that muscle off the bench and the rim protection. I think people don't realize how good of a rim protector he was. Last year, second in defensive field goal percentage allowed at the rim behind Triple J. That's the defensive player of the year. So not saying he's Triple J, but just to have that guy for 10, 12, 15 minutes as a bench rim protector, the Lakers haven't had a reliable bench rim protector really since
Dwight.
Since probably the championship year Dwight, like kind
Yeah,
of
right.
the second
Yeah.
or the third stint Dwight, but really the championship year Dwight. And I think to have that role would be invaluable. And just like, I'm also kind of open to, do you just sign Wood and Biyombo? And I know they don't want to do that. I know they want to have that open roster spot and whatever, but to me, like, Jackson Hayes has not proven that he is a night to night guy. There's a chance he's not.
Lakers. In comparing to the Westbrook experiment, the thinking there was skill and talent outweighing fit. That is exactly what is going on here, to a lesser extreme. With Westbrook, the overall fit didn't work. Here, Wood does not fulfill the biggest needs. From the start of last season to the trade deadline, the Lakers were 20th in the league in defensive rating at 114.3 points allowed per 100 possessions. They were 19th in offensive rating at 113.2 points per 100 possessions. They sat at 25-30, 13th in the Western Conference. After the trade deadline, the Lakers went 18-9, with a 116-112.2 offense-defense rating split. That is with LeBron, AD, D'Angelo Russell, and even Austin Reeves missing significant time. They improved to 17th in offensive ranking and second defensive ranking. Lakers wins were by an average of 12.2, losses by 9.4, 16 total losses. LeBron did not play in 6 of those losses. D'Angelo did not play if 3 of those losses. There was high inconsistency during this time. The primary needs were not about offense. When they lost, it was not by many points, as noted above. Even in the Denver sweep, they lost by a total of 24. Total, across 4 games. This was a team that had no consistency or time to build chemistry, which is needed more on offense than defense. Now, they will have that continuity. Additionally, they already added more scoring threat at the beginning of the offseason, while their young core was also improved as the season progressed. When AD is off the floor for entire games, or within game, what is the biggest void that needs to be filled? Offense or defense? Offense can be picked up and spread across several players now. LeBron, Reeves, Rui, Russell, Vincent, Christie, Prince, and even Reddish or Hodge could produce points. Defense is what is really needed. Interior strength and positioning, defensive mind, hands and feet. These are Wood's biggest weaknesses, where it is the team's biggest need when AD is not there. Many sites and commentators have stated things like AD can help. So instead of adding a player who helps, they are going to add a player that needs AD's help and makes him and or LeBron work harder. Can you really afford to put Wood on the floor at the same time as D'Angelo, or if AD isn't out there helping to compensate? There was a potential rotation suggested with those two together, which means AD and Rui would be doing all the heavy lifting on the defensive end. That is where players get more worn down. So when is AD going to get relief? Wood does not offer any. Wood has limited strength and defensive IQ. Lakers were building a defensive identity. Wood goes against this. It's not merely lack of strength or interior presence, but his thinking, inactive hands, and looking lost. This is counter to the high IQs of Braun, AD, and Reeves, who all think a few steps ahead. He's opposite of Vando, a liability on defense making more work for Braun, AD, and Vando. It's scary pairing him with D'Lo or anyone who needs defensive help. Braun at 250, Rui at 230, and even Hayes at 220 weigh more than Wood. He doesn't offer better interior presence than any of them, easily moved out of position. At 214, he weighs only 8 more pounds than Reeves. Biyombo weighs 255. Hayes and Castleton already bring height. In 22-23, Wood had 27 games scoring 15 or more points, 21 were losses. In 21-22, Wood had 48 games scoring 15 or more points, 24 were losses. In 2021, he had 37 games scoring 15 or more points, 33 were losses. In 2021, he did not play in 5 of the 12 wins. His high-scoring stats haven't impacted wins much. These stats alone may not say much. When seen along the eye tests and analysis of subpar defense, it appears he racks up points on bad teams. Last 3 years, Biyombo beat Wood in field goal percent, blocks and turnovers per 36 mins. Wood's defensive rating declined to 113. Biyombo has improved in the same time, from his worst 112.6 in 2021 to 107.6 last year. Wood has no playoff experience. Even Hayes has some. What scenario would you pick Wood above other Lakers? Playmaking, LeBron, Reeves, D'Angelo, Vincent. Scoring, LeBron, AD, Reeves, D'Angelo, Rui, Prince, Christie, Hodge. Protection and paint, AD, LeBron, Hayes, Rui. Overall defense, AD, LeBron, Hayes, Reeves, Rui. Rebounding, that is it. There's rumblings related to chemistry, locker room vibes, ego, and mentality. His intro statement in joining the Lakers support that chatter. Whatever the Mavs situation, he chose to comment on it in his signing with the Lakers and his big role. For pros, Wood beats Biyombo in rebounds and steals while scoring more on less efficiency. He will have leadership and guidance in harm, handy LeBron and AD, though that's true of anyone signing with Lakers. Two recent developments have surfaced. It's been revealed that Anthony Davis officially requested to play less minutes at center during regular season. Also, Team USA lost to Germany. Both pieces of news point to a need for a strong interior presence. Davis doesn't want to play as much at center because the toll and demand it takes in that position. It is physically demanding. Both losses for Team USA came in large part due to teams with size taking advantage of a weaker interior presence. Even if they play Davis and Woodhays together, Davis would be making up for either defensively. If AD leaves the paint as Lakers Nation suggests, to fly around, that leaves the door open in the paint. Wood is literally a pushover. Better teams, especially in the playoffs, will exploit weakness around the rim. Denver proved it, Team USA proved it in their losses and even their close games. Davis could maximize his skills in the bubble because the Twin Towers and Braun were very strong presences. There is still a 15th roster spot, but is that left open for a player on a two-way or Exhibit 10, Castleton, Hodge, or Fudge? So even here, that 15th spot could potentially go to a non-big man. Wood is supposedly a no-risk move. Really? 1. Contractually and pure cap and money, sure, there is no risk there. 2. Nothing was given up, there was no trade involved. However, what is at risk is 1. Locker room morale. This is more vibe and energy. One bad apple is a cliché trope because there is truth there. We already see signs and red flags before training camp. 2. Chemistry. Lakers have been building a team culture of high IQ players who play the right way, do all the little things, and play for the team. The are-all weaknesses of Wood. 3. If it doesn't work, because again they are betting on potential offensive candy over proven fit and actual record, then you have to scramble to find something real and solid when you could have had that from day one. Which leads to 4. Lakers already have multiple projects. The newest projects are Reddish, Hayes, JHS, Castleton, Lewis, Hodge, Fudge. Ongoing projects, Vando, Rui, Reeves, Christie. All have aspects of their game and bodies they want to work on. Do the benefits outweigh the cons? And can Wood's strengths be utilized to his full potential within this roster without major sacrifices? Or will it be like Westbrook, where the offensive promise was so shiny, new eye candy, that we are willing to ignore all concerns, poor history for Wood, and the failed practice of choosing potential over fit? Westbrook, Dwight round 1, Nash and Mailman. Thanks for your assist and joining. Please comment, like, and subscribe.